All right, and we are live. How's it going? Good to be back here doing some more Unreal Engine education for myself. And last time we went through pretty much all of this, all of these green check marks, because previously the course before last stream was unfortunately remade or updated to work with Unreal 5.6, which is good, but it did erase all of that previous progress I had prior to that. But right now, what we're doing is just finishing off this course. Might be able to finish these blueprint segments because everything else leading up to that was pretty rudimentary, sometimes a little bit scattered and all over the place. But now we're kind of getting into the meat of it with blueprints and such. I think that should be a much better indication of what I'm going to be working with for the most part. Anytime I'm messing around with Unreal Engine, I'd imagine is going to be majority blueprint based. So without further ado here, just confirm everything's looking good. All right, connections are looking steady. Okay, perfect. We'll go ahead and get started here.
Hello, in this video I'm going to give an introduction to blueprints.
That's
In
looking
Unreal Engine,
a little bit loud.
blueprints are a visual scripting language that allow users to write game logic without writing a single line of code.
Okay.
Blueprints provide the logic for a game, determining how players interact with the game and how it functions. With blueprints, you can track things like a player's health, whether they've completed certain puzzles, how they should react to certain events, and much more. Whole games can even be created using just blueprints. I've done this myself to create my own game. In Unreal Engine, there are two main types of blueprint. A level blueprint, which holds data and instructions specific to a single level. So this level could have blueprints, and this could basically determine how this level should function and how it should behave. To access the level blueprint, we can go here, and go over here, and just click Open Level Blueprint.
So he clicked on, let's go back. A little blueprint button there. Open level blueprint. Got it.
We can go here, and go over here, and just click Open Level Blueprint. This will take us to the event graph. Here in the event graph, we can write the blueprints for how this level should behave. You'll notice there are two grayed out nodes here. The first one is event begin play. The way this will work is it will run as soon as our game starts. Then we have this event tick node. The way this will work is it will basically fire a pin every single frame our game is running. So event begin play.
All right, so I do remember that.
If I just drag off here and I look for print string and I compile this, compiling a blueprint will basically turn this into some executable code that our game can run.
As soon as it starts, it'll just print the string.
If I close this and I play my game, event begin play,
hello.
I asked it to print string the word hello.
So I think I can change the duration too.
If I just go back to my level blueprint and let's say I connect this to event tick, and I'm just going to right click here and break the link to unconnect this. If I compile this and then I close this and I play
every frame,
every single frame that my game is running, it's going to print string this.
Less than ideal. I still got my spinny cube here.
Press Alt and that will break the link between nodes of blueprints. The next type of blueprints are blueprint classes. These basically allow us to turn any object into a reusable template with its own custom behaviors and traits. So if I just close this, to create a blueprint class, we can just go over to the content drawer, and I'm just going to right click and create a new folder and call this blueprints. And if I head inside this folder, to create a blueprint, I can just right click and go over to blueprint class. Then I'm just going to select actor, and I'm just going to call this BP_example. I'm just going to open this up.
Okay.
And inside of our blueprint, there are three main tabs. The first tab is this event graph tab. Here we can use this to kind of code the logic for how our blueprint should behave. It's the same as the level blueprints event graph. We then have the viewport. This allows us to visually see how our blueprint will look, and we can customize some of the settings it has. So for example, I can just go over here to components, and let's just add a sphere cube component to my blueprint. And here in the details panel, I can customize how this sphere should look.
Oh,
we then
wrong
have
one.
the construction script.
Gotta add
Here we can
a
basically
sphere.
write some logic here in our blueprint to code
Perfect.
how our blueprint should behave before our game has even started.
Right.
So right
okay.
now, if I just go to my
Construction
viewport, we can see I have
starts
this
before
sphere,
the game.
which is white. If I go over to the construction script, I can just drag in this sphere, and let me just drag off here, and I look for set material, and I can make it have a gold material. And I'm just going to connect this into here and compile this. If I just close this, and I drag in my sphere, before my game has even started, it's run in the construction script. If I were to, let's say, break the link here,
Like a cobblestone.
and I just compile this, then we'll see my sphere will be its normal color.
I did not even drag it into the world yet. So let's drag our cobblestone sphere. Actually, that's brick. I don't think that's cobblestone. No, it's cobblestone. It says cobblestone. Okay. Hey, look at that. That is indeed a sphere made of brick. I'm incredible. Self-confidence is the key. Keep yourself going.
If, say, I just copy this and I go over to the event graph and I just paste this and I connect this into event can play, if I compile this and then I close this, when I play my game, as soon as my game starts, it will turn my sphere gold.
Oh, because it's in the event graph. It's not in the, or it's in the level blueprint. Silly. Wrong one. Drag you over there. File, save, and play. Boom. Same thing, but different. Same, different.
You also note in this blueprint, if I go over to the event graph, it also has this node, event actor begin overlap. Here we can basically write some logic of what should happen when something overlaps this actor. So that's an introduction to blueprints. They are a very powerful and flexible tool, which basically allows us to code almost anything in Unreal Engine.
Yeah, very basic description, I suppose. Not sure yet if I like this version of the course better than the old one. Some things are explained better, some things are explained much worse. And I really only got to like maybe something similar to maybe custom events. I think like no essential nodes. I think I just finished the previous course's version of essential nodes. But again, wanted to go through this so that if there's anything else that's being explained, I'm not missing it, getting better explanations, a la the 5.6 engine. Why is it doing this again? This happened constantly the last time I was doing this course last week. Constantly, I would try to hit a button or hit next, and it would take me back here, and then watch. Once I hit watch free course, it don't work. It just loads and then goes back. It loads and goes back. Very frustrating. So we're gonna manually come back here, click the lesson, and that didn't work either. Okay. But maybe if I full screen it, I don't know. I really don't know anymore. Honestly, just kind of eager to get this course done so that I don't have to come back to this very difficult to work with website again. I just did it again, didn't it? Okay. I have to click here. It's like solving a freaking puzzle. Okay. For some reason, this video, Introduction to Variables, does not want to play. Variables 2 wants to play. But as soon as I hit previous, it just, yeah, I really don't know anymore. That's frustrating. It's a bummer because that did not happen the last time I went through a lesson on this website. So something must have changed for the worse in order to actually cause this issue. I didn't have a single issue last time on the previous version of this course, but for some reason, this updated version, the website just has all sorts of problems. It seems like all of them want that. Oh, this one, wow, this one didn't. Okay. Is it autoplay? Maybe I have to have autoplay on. Is that? It's like a puzzle sometimes trying to get around bugs. This went to light mode for some reason. Oh, is that it? Hang on. I do have dark reader on. Is that the issue? Hang on. This might be self-inflicted. Let's try to add this to exceptions. Add. Oh no, that just goes like permanent light mode. Oh, that's a bummer. But maybe if as long as it works. It did. It worked for a second. Set a refresh. Try to go back. Nope. Okay. Gotta do freaking surgery here to be able to watch a video.
Hello.
No, not yet. Is this available anywhere else? This has to be available somewhere else. Like, is this available on YouTube? Nope. It is not. Hmm. That looks like a logout button. Thinking maybe I can select a course like from whatever profile. It's here. My account? Nope.
Hello. In this video,
Well, this is a bummer. Like, is no one talking about any issues on this? Like, is it really just me? These all work just fine. But as soon as I go down to introduction to variables, it just doesn't want to work. That is unfortunate. Although I don't think it has anything to do with the dark mode. So we're going to re enable that. Actually, it seems like it does have something to do with it, maybe. What if I just completely turn it off, like entirely? No way, I can't just turn it off, right? Without having to remove it. That's the case. That would be a huge bummer. Just watch I remove it and it just doesn't do anything to fix it. Holy moly, that would be a huge bummer. Let's go here. Let's go here. I just want to watch this, dude. Like, I don't know why this has to be so hard. See, that one works. That one don't work. That one don't work. That one don't like the was this has to be me. Like this has to be a me problem. There's no way that he didn't test this extensively to figure out which videos play and don't. Like I really think this has to be a me problem. So I'm going to take a second, maybe try to open it on a different browser or something because I refuse to believe that there was no testing done on whether this worked or not. I refuse to believe this is not a me problem. So let's try Edge, I guess. Just a moment during these technical difficulties. Okay. And did I really sign in through Google? I didn't just make a password. That's so unfortunate. Okay, let's try it on Edge. See if Edge somehow works better. Nope. Oh, I have Dark Reader. Yeah, we're just going to remove that from Edge. Remove. Okay, fresh, no extensions, nothing. All right, I already did that one. Just going to hit next, and it doesn't work. Does not work. Okay. Yeah, this is frustrating to say the least. Really, like if this guy can't even test his videos to work, like why am I trusting this guy to teach me how to use Unreal Engine? It's very unfortunate. So I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll just toy around, figure it out myself. I don't know. Because I guess I can't rely on that guy. I don't know. Let's figure out a goal to set, I guess. What am I gonna do here? Oh wow, I'm just oh yeah, we got the zero G off on that. Yeah, no guidance right now, unfortunately. What's another way I can test a simple blueprint? Hmm, seem to be drawn a huge blank. Let's see here. Got this BP example. I don't remember what these box collisions are doing. Oh, it's a post process volume and a trigger volume or a brush component. I'm just gonna not already have a post process volume. No shot. That's my only post process volume, right? Okay, well, let's get that out of my way. I don't. I don't need that to be right there. I think that works. So I don't think I need this trigger volume right now either. Just do some other stuff with this ball, I guess. I can enable physics on it. Maybe just make it roll and kick it around. It's something, right? Got to be like a gravity or not. Enable gravity. Okay. Already enabled. but it is not falling. This one's already enabled. What did I do differently with this that is not happening with that? Oh, I think it's probably because this was just a shape dragged into the world. This has gravity enabled. Like I know it's part of a blueprint, but like gravity is enabled on it. So I don't. Is it mass? Be mass? Mass. Nope. Wouldn't really do anything either. Maybe I need to go into the BP example. File. Save. We need to configure it from here. Simulate physics. There we go. That was my issue. Save. Hey, look at that. I've got a ball. Got a ball made of rock. What can I do with this ball made of rock? Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't think I was supposed to see that. Sorry, Mr. Rock. I didn't mean to view your private UV ends like that. Okay, sorry. I'm just gonna go over here. That was an that was an accident. Okay. Um, I w- is I would prefer that it opens up like in a window of its own. I don't really like having it be playing in this huge area right here. There's got to be a way to actually open it up in a window. So is this what's the verbiage here? Play level in the editor viewport. Oh, new editor window. Okay. Yeah, I just need to press buttons. I don't need to immediately go to Google every time. New editor window. Yeah. Oh, I guess I'm now technically running two instances of the game, aren't I? Okay. Let's do this. I'm going to make little areas around the map that will change the material of the ball as long as it goes inside the area. So what I'm going to need to do is I'll need to make some post process volumes, not post process volumes, some trigger volumes. I mean I can make post process volumes, but I don't think that's really going to do anything to change the ball. Okay, so let's that up. Oh, I forgot there's a light on there too. Okay, I'll probably get rid of the spinning cube here. Sure, that'll help a little bit. Um, so let's say, oh no, that's right. I have to place it from over here. Volume, trigger volume. Oh, yeah, let's put a trigger volume. We'll put them on each of the little platforms up here. Okay, so oh, let's make this bigger. Okay, there we go. That seems adequate. And I think it was Alt drag. Yep, to make another one. Sweet. Ooh, and then I bet if I just grab both of them, Alt drag. There we go. Okay, we got some trigger volumes. Now I bet I would have to uh, individually code them, wouldn't I? So let's go back. Let's undo that. We'll start with one. And maybe for testing purposes, I'll put it like right down here. So that way I don't have to worry about don't even have to move either. I'll just put it right here so it rolls downhill, goes into that area. So I think what I would have to do is I don't know. I don't know. I don't think there's any way that I can just add a stray blueprint onto this, right? I think I probably will want to make an actual blueprint. All right, so starting over. Let's delete that. Make a blueprint. Actor. The um, material changer. Okay. And change that. I can get rid of that. Save, get rid of that. Okay. So I'll go ahead and add a trigger volume. There's no trigger volume. There is no way to add a trigger volume. So we've got meshes, shapes. Yeah, I don't really see any way to add a trigger volume. For some reason, there's no trigger volume option here. Okay. Let's go back to handy dandy Google. Mm, proper way to add a trigger volume in Unreal 5. Oh, add a trigger volume component to a blueprint 9 years ago. Box collision. Okay. I don't I don't know why it's called a trigger volume here. That's weird. Okay. Box collision. Okay. Trigger. You know what? Let's go ahead and just keep that as, oh, box collision. Oh, it's just called box. Okay. I was thinking maybe if I left the default name, it would help me remember the names. I'm still going to do that. I'm still just going to call it box collision. I don't know why they're named differently, but that's what we're going to do. Oh, all right. Box collision. And from here, I'll have to add thing to the event graph, I believe. On event actor begin overlap. Has to be a specific actor. Let's just do any actor, sure. Why not? We'll make the first person character also change material. We'll go set material. If I disconnect that, or does it let me specify the actor? See, I can't tell if this is supposed to be designating what is actually going to be changing the material or what it's changing the material of. I'm assuming, okay. All right. If I do this, okay, I'm assuming it's what is actually going to change the collision. And we'll change it to concrete. Sure. File, save, play. It did not change to concrete. Do I change to concrete? No, I did not change to concrete. Oh, I think my headphones just turned off. I guess there's not really any audio going through them. It is just going to turn off automatically. Planned to be watching the video, but that didn't work. Maybe I can just turn on some music then in the background. We'll do that. Okay. That's probably fine. It's not like there's going to be a video playing this time. Only it worked. Okay. So, figure out why. Oh, I didn't drag that back in. I deleted the original box trigger I had. I could probably just make it bigger. I don't think I actually need to do that in the blueprint itself. It's probably fine from here. Okay. That's good to go. All right. That also did not work. Okay. Saved and everything, yeah. Yeah, this was much better to visualize when I had a third person setup in the third person project. I guess it's fine here as well. Yeah, so that doesn't do anything. It's not changing the material. I wonder if it's because on begin play, it's setting it here. So maybe if I put it under the construction script instead, save it. I don't think that's going to be the issue, but just in case. Yeah, no, that didn't do anything. All right, I think I in some way need to specify. Not click it. So in some way, I maybe need to specify what's being changed, or I need to either turn it on in some way. Maybe it's like off. It's not able to like have things be changed while going through it. It's on actor with it. Other actor. Is that it? No. No, because okay, yeah, other actor would be something that's not this actor. Let's do print string. Maybe the print string I'll do before. Yeah, let's put it in the middle here. That here. Yeah, it printed. Okay, so it's doing something. And this is an actor. It's just not changing the blueprint or changing the material through the blueprint. Maybe putting it after. Assume it's not going to show me anything this time. No, it still does as well. It's just not setting the material. Let's see here. Just go to good old Google, I guess. He needs to like get the actor that's overlapping. No. Create a static mesh actor, which contains the mesh, say the cube, whose material you want to change. Add a collision box volume around it. Make it larger. Okay, there is a collision, but it's detecting that there's a collision. Select a collision box in the event graph. Event that's triggered every time another actor enters the collision box. When the begin overlap event is triggered, you have to check that the actor entered the volume. Yeah, this is for something else, but it is seemingly about entering a collision box. Let's just watch this video here instead. Jeez. Okay, we'll pause this music, turn this down, like way down.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. Ali Reza here, and in this one I'm going to talk about how we can use a trigger box in our level. In the place actors tab, just type trigger and you can see that we have a couple of trigger volumes with different shapes, and what they do is that when something overlaps with them, they will give us an event node and we can use that in our game logic. Here I'm gonna drag a trigger box into the level and place it between these walls, so when my character goes to the other side it collides with the volume. In order to use the trigger box to make some code, just select it and then go to the level blueprint. Here when you right click in the event graph, you can access the trigger box you made, and for example in the collision section you can add a begin overlap event. Then let's cast to the third person character, and now when our character steps into the box, this will be triggered and we can use it in our blueprint flows. For example, let's add the print string function to the blueprint, and now you can see that every time our character goes into the box, the print string function gets called. You can use the trigger box for
Oh,
a
I already
wide
have that
variety of game
happening.
mechanics, and it's quite handy in making game logic. For example, you can just kill the player when it goes into the box. Here, just drag a wire and simulate physics.
Maybe I shouldn't have a bunch of different. I shouldn't have a bunch of different. Or set it as a different blueprint. Maybe just drag it in. Not sure. Let's try just dragging one in. So doing it in the level blueprint feels. I don't know. I don't know if that. I guess that's fine. I don't know. I just genuinely don't know. It feels different from how it was shown previously. I can't really go and review that, unfortunately, since those videos are down. Okay, level blueprint. Okay, past the BP example. set material. I think we're getting somewhere. Change it to concrete. And string. Oh, that's right. As BP example. Okay. Let's try that again. Mm, this is the right, yeah, as trigger volume on actor begin overlap. Overlap actor is the BP example. Sphere. I don't even think I got a print string actually. Hang on. No, nothing printed. Just drag directly to there. No, it's going to do the same thing. Okay. Just make a series of print strings to test where it's failing. Nope, that didn't work either. Is it even? Like, is this even working? Okay, it's overlapping. Getting that at least.
Then check the simulate option, and then for the target, get the mesh component and plug it in. Then open up the third person character and select the mesh component. Here in the details tab, scroll down to the collision tab and
Yeah, I can't really figure out why it's not making it past here. That should be correct. Maybe if I just delete all that, just go straight into it. Oh, no, that didn't work. Maybe just overlapped actor. Nope. Like, are these different pins? That feels like that should work. I don't know why that's not working. It was working when I did it from here. Actor begin overlap. Maybe if I cast from here instead. Let's try that. Type of object is undetermined. What's supposed to go there? Imply a specific type. Does that go there? PP example does not inherit from box collision. Okay. And I really thought this would be one of the easier things that I could do on my own. It's kind of disappointing that I'm struggling in this sense. Okay. I guess that's just not going to work. I really don't know how to make it work either. Just go back to print string, I guess, and just try that again. Let's get rid of that. Yes, delete it, please. Delete that and that. It's not going to do it through the level blueprint. Just going to drag one of these in here. Probably put the music back on. Need other vibes besides disappointment. Okay, yeah, see, we're getting hello. See, I don't think this is correct. See, okay, hang on. I bet if I was to add like a sphere, and then set material, when the other ball rolls in, it'll probably change material here, right? Sure, some random bush material. Oh, that sphere's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Sorry, sir. I'm gonna need you to tone it down a little bit. Yeah. That works. Okay. So I'm just not telling it to set the material of the right thing. So that's the goal here then, is to have it set material based on, where was it? Material changer, that's right. So I think casting was the right call. Example, object, it's sphere. No, because it's target self. Oh, that's the wrong order. Okay. Is this not what I did? I swear this is what I did before. Oh, that's the wrong one. A target sphere. This feels exactly like what I did before. I don't know what's supposed to go under object. I have no clue what's supposed to go under object. Not in the slightest. Type of object is undetermined. Connect something to cast a BP example to imply a specific type. Connect something. What is the something? Current value of the object pin is invalid, unsupported type. So maybe cast node supported object types. In order to cast to something like a character, you need a reference to the actor that you expect to be the character. So if you have a reference to an actor called my actor, in a variable, so it needs to be a variable. I need to somehow have a variable of no, that's the same. It's the same thing. Okay, so how do I? Is it an actor variable? Actor object reference. Maybe. Okay. Now I just need to actually tell it what it is. Which I don't, that's the part I don't really understand. How do I get the other blueprint to know? How do I get this blueprint to know that I'm trying to cast the this object? This really just doesn't make much sense to me, to be quite honest. I don't understand what the point of this object, like I'm already casting. Like I thought that's the point of this. So what's the point here? Because as BP example, I'm targeting the sphere. So like that feels like what I'm supposed to be doing with this. I really don't understand how this works. Say you have a character which inherits from actor. And the character has a function called do things. If you get the actor class, you can't call do things because the actor doesn't have that method. So you cast to the character because the class that expands on actor, because it is a class that expands on actor. So you cast an actor to character so you can call do things. You have character 1 and character 2, but you get the class type of actor. You have to again cast it to character called do things. And whatever character the actor variable reference called the method. gonna be honest, that just is not sticking in my brain. I don't understand what. I'm sure I'll get it here in a second. I'm going to be honest, this feels pretty discouraging that I have only just started deviating what the lesson was. I feel like some of the basic stuff I'm really not able to comprehend. But that's just what repetition's about. I'll get it. Not feeling great about it though. Okay. Let's read it again. Say you have a character which inherits from actor, and that character has a function called do things. If you get an actor class, you can't call do things because actor doesn't have that method. I don't really want to call a function. I just want it to even know that it exists. Literally all I'm trying to do. I just don't understand why this is necessary here. Why do I need this? I'm already casting. Like, in my opinion, this should be enough. This should be enough. I don't understand why it's not. Yeah, that's well new. I am already casting the VP example, getting the sphere and then setting the material. Maybe I just need to find like a separate video on casting because this just really isn't making sense to me. See, this is why I hate the AI overviews. Like, this video explains the basic, maybe it's the video's fault, but like the first thing it's showing me is don't use casting. Is that not the point? I don't even understand what casting is yet, and he's telling me not to use it. Let's do this.
Video, I'm guessing that you're currently in a project trying to cast something. Figure out what the heck to plug into this object pin, or
let's pause the music here.
Or you're just tired of this problem in general. And if you've clicked on this video, I'm guessing that you're currently in a project trying to cast something and you can't figure out what the heck to plug into this object pin, or you're just tired of this problem in general and want a better understanding of casting. Well, in either
oh my god. Yeah, that's exactly my problem right now. Literally described it to a T. Holy moly. Okay, that's exactly what the issue is for me. Also, why am I watching what looks to be like a 480p video happening?
If you've clicked on this video, I'm guessing that you're currently in a project trying to cast something and you can't figure out what the heck to plug into this object pin, or you're just tired of this problem in general and want a better understanding of casting. Well, in either case, I suggest you sit back, take a break from your project, because I'm going to explain casting as thoroughly as I can in this video, and hopefully going forward, you'll be able to use it with ease. So let's answer the question we're all here for. What the heck is this object pin? Why is it there? And how do I figure out what to plug into it?
Yes,
well, before I can
please.
answer that question, there is another topic you have to have a basic understanding of, and that topic is inheritance. But don't worry, I'm going to keep this simple. So whenever you go to your content browser, right click and choose new blueprint class, as I'm sure you have many times before, I want you to notice that at the top of this window, it says pick parent class. So anytime that you create an actor or a pawn or a character, whatever it is, you're creating a child of that class. Okay, so what I've done real quick is I've created this BP underscore cube guy. You can see right here, its parent class is actor. You can also see that in the class settings, parent class actor. Okay, so that means that by default, this cube guy has all the stuff that an actor has. You see all these variables here, and if you don't see these, you can go here and tick show inherited variables. But not only that, we can add our own stuff to it to give it custom functionality. Now, the important thing to note here is that while a cube guy is an actor is not a cube guy. If that sounds confusing, let me make sense of it real quick.
No, that makes sense.
Notice that I've added this first name variable, right? And these components, as I previously mentioned. Obviously, actor doesn't contain any of those things. If I go and I right click, create a new blueprint class, and then create an actor again, it's not going to have any of that, which makes sense. So the point here to take away is that a cube guy is an actor, but an actor is not a cube guy. Now, why is this important, and why does this help you understand casting? Well, I'm sure you've heard that this object pin takes in a generic type and converts it to a specific reference to an object in the world. When people say a generic type, really what this object pin takes in is a parent class of some sort. So I've added two of these cube guys to the world, and I've exposed that first name variable. I've named the first one Bob, and I've named the second one Sally. And we're in our first person player character right now, and we want to get the name of whichever one we walk up to. We want to walk up to it and basically say, hey, what's your first?
Excuse me, I wasn't ready for a second cat to come here. Oh, speaking of which, we already got one cat that I have not turned on the cat cam for. There we go. But then we got a second cat here. Got Domino. Also wants to be part of the party. Sorry, sweetie. I don't really have a second bed up here for you because you never come up here. What are you doing up here? Maybe now I need to get a second cat bed. You always just hang out in the one over there. You just want pets? I think she just wants pets. I think that's it. Hi, sweetie. Yeah, maybe I'll get you a bed up here too. Well, I guess we're just going to try to work with it. I don't want to kick her off. There's not really anyone else here for a while until the wife gets home in a couple days. So you are kind of lonely, huh? Usually hang out over there with her. Okay. Back to this.
Name. Now, when I was first starting up to, we want.
Also, this guy's explaining this very well so far. Who is? Oh,
walk up to. We want to walk up to it and basically.
This guy's channel seems incredible. Or his explanations, at least. I'm just going to hit subscribe. Let's subscribe to this guy. And thumbs up so far.
Say, hey, what's your first name? Now, when I was first starting out, I remember wondering, why do I even need this object reference to begin with? I mean, it knows that I want a cube guy right here. It knows that I'm looking for first name. What do I need this object reference for? I mean, that seems kind of pointless when I'm trying to get an object reference to begin with. Well, pretend that you didn't need this, right? And I just...
This guy summed up exactly what my frustration and confusion was. To a T. Girl, can you calm down? Getting interrupted by cat over here. But this is perfectly summing up my frustrations. Exactly. Okay, you're getting a little wild. I might have to put you back over in your bed here. cat hair everywhere. Need a brusher. Need for a brushing.
Just plug this into begin play or something right now. What would this return? We have two cube guys in the world, and they both have a different first name. So what could this possibly return? It can't return anything. We need to specifically reference one of the cube guys in the world. Now, the way that I'm going to do that in this video is I'm just going to go and add a box collision to my first person character. All right, I'm going to drag it forward a little bit. And then in the event graph with it selected, I'm going to call its on component begin overlap event. Okay, and I'm going to plug this in here. So when the box collides with something, we are going to try and get the first name from our cube guy.
This is pretty much exactly what I'm trying to do, except it's on begin overlap with the box itself. Wait, this is the first person character. Okay, and he's inside the first person character. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much exactly what I'm trying to do. Logic flow wise is from the trigger box that I've made, trying to cast to the ball that rolls into it, and then change the material of that ball via a blueprint.
Now, notice that this begin overlap event outputs an actor. We can plug this into here, compile, and this will work.
What? Really? Hang on. No shot. No shot. This whole time, I just had to plug in other actor and it worked? What? I am the silliest goose. My gosh. How dare this box do exactly what I told it to do and not what I wanted it to do? This is outrageous. Okay, but let's hear the rest of his explanation.
That says Bob, and that says Sally. And I want to explain this. I want to go back to when we were talking about inheritance. What we're getting out of here, if I hover over this, you can see other actor, object, reference. If I try to drag off this and type in first name, you're going to see it doesn't have any of that. That's kind of the whole point of casting. This is just a generic actor, and during runtime, when I collide with one of these two guys, this actor value gets set to a BP-based cube guy. From there, we can plug into the casting this cube guy, and it sees right away, okay, this does inherit from actor. Is it a cube guy? If it's not, this cast is going to fail. So let's go and let's create a new blueprint. And let's just call this not a cube guy.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and we'll add in a cone.
Oh. Oops. I have both input overlays on. There we go.
Drag our cone in. Drag it up. So this is also an actor, but it's not a cube guy. So if I walk into this, we get Bob, Sally, and obviously nothing from the cone. To really demonstrate this, let's go back to our first person character. And off of the cast failed, I'm going to print string cast failed. Compile. We got Bob, we got Sally, and then cast failed. Okay, so what's happening here is obviously this on begin overlap node can't know ahead of time of all the different children classes of actor that exist in the game. I mean, they haven't even been created yet. This comes with the engine, and it can't know that you're going to have a cube guy, and it can't have a pin for every single possible child of actor. That would just be ridiculous. So all it can really give you is a base actor, which isn't going to have any of the stuff your child has, and so you're not going to be able to get first name unless you cast. That's the whole point of casting, is to take this generic object type and get a specific reference to one of its children in the world. So another thing that this on component begin overlap spits out is a primitive
just makes
component
sense.
object type,
It
and this
just
does not
makes
inherit from
sense.
actor. So if I plug this in here,
It just makes sense. I get it. I get it. I get it now. Thank you, this guy. Whoever this guy is. Thank you. Tyler Sereno. Tyler Sereno. Thank you. Thank you. If I could double like this video, I would. I've already subscribed. Like, you know what? I don't know what else you got going on your channel. Are you regularly uploading? 3 months, 4 months, 2 year? You know what? Sure. I'm gonna throw on the notifications here too for you. Oh, we're gonna go through some of these for sure. Any shorts? You need a couple. Yeah, I mean you got a pretty good amount of information here, so I'm gonna be going through that at some point too. Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate you.
here and I compile, you're going to see this warning because right away this cast node sees, okay, BP cube guy does not inherit from primitive component, and it knows right away that this is always going to fail. If I were to take this other component and do get owner, this is kind of pointless to do, but if I get owner, you'll see this prints out an object reference. So what'll happen is the collision will pick up the actual
get owner
cube or
zone?
the eyes, and then it'll get the owner actor. And then I go like this, that'll work. So if I hit play, and you get Bob, you get Sally, and then you get cast failed.
It's just the same thing.
So to drive this home even more, I'm going to confuse you a little bit. I'm going to create a variable here, and this is going to be of type actor. And we're going to make it an object reference.
Okay.
And I'll just rename this actor object ref. We're also going to create a variable, and we're going to call it cube guy, and we're going to make this one of type BP underscore cube guy, because whenever
you can just do it from there. What? I didn't think I needed this variable, but hang on. I could just BP underscore wait, example. Oh, that's the laugh of like all my previous frustrations just melting away. Just melting away. No, I don't care, Snapchat. I don't care that you sent me a message, Team Snapchat. Incredible. Incredible.
whenever you create a class, any class that you create is also its own data type. So we have this actor object reference here. And if I do set and I pull out a cube guy reference, two different data types.
Oh,
remember,
I see.
Cube
Okay.
guy inherits from actor.
Mm-hmm.
So if I plug this in, it's going to let me set this actor object reference. I still can't pull out of here and get first name. I would still have to cast to BP underscore cube guy to get that, because again, an actor does not contain that variable.
Yeah,
Now,
I get
the
it now.
important thing here is if I pull out
So
actor object reference and I
if you were to do set cube guy and then pull that out, it would know then, right?
try to set cube guy, that's not going to work because again,
Yeah, because it's already
actor
cube
is
guy.
not a cube guy, but a cube guy is an actor. A parent is not a child, but the child is its parent. And that's the
Okay.
important thing to take away here. Now, one more thing you might have seen when casting. So if I pull out this direct BP cube guy reference and I plug into this object pin, you might think, well, a cube guy is a cube guy, so this should work. And it will work, but you'll get this note here and it says cube guy is already a BP cube guy. You don't need to cast a BP underscore cube guy. Basically, this pin right here is spitting this out. this exact type of data out. So there's no need to cast to it. If you have this, so like if I expose this variable, go in here, select my first person character, I can now, if I compile, I think. Yeah, you'll now see I have this cube guy variable that I can set, and I now have a reference to Bob. So if I go in, it's going to print out Bob. Now, although that works, like I said, this cast is unnecessary because this is of type BP underscore cube guy. So I can drag directly off of this, do get first name, plug that into the print string. We can remove this cast.
I'll say, yeah, you don't even need,
and without
you
using
don't even need to
I
cast.
can just get that first name directly from this variable. So if I compile, hit play.
So is that what the other video was trying to say? I'm sure I'll go watch it after this one, but if I had to guess, I think that's what the other video was going to try to talk about, to not cast, to maybe just make a variable instead of a direct cast like that.
You're going to see the same result. It prints out Bob.
Okay.
Of course, doing it this way by using a generic actor class makes it dynamic, so we can walk up to any cube guy and have it print out the name of that cube guy.
Makes sense.
So you might be thinking now, okay, well, this is all fine and dandy, but I'm not using an on-component begin overlap, and the thing I'm trying to cast to is, maybe you're trying to cast from your widget blueprint or something like that, where you can't even do something like this. And all I can really say is it's going to vary how you get this object reference, but if casting is the right way to go, there's usually a decently straightforward way to get a valid object reference, and if you find yourself doing something overly convoluted, casting might not be the right way to handle the problem you're trying to solve. You might want to look into blueprint interfaces. Speaking of which, something to watch out for that I've seen done a lot when people are just starting out, I myself have done this too. Let's say, for example, you were trying to create some sort of interaction system. Well, first off, I wouldn't use a box overlap for that, but that's besides the point. Let's say you wanted to be able to walk up to a cube guy and have it print his first name, and then if you walk up to a door, the door will open, and if you walk up to like a collectible or a gun, it picks the gun up. You might be thinking to yourself, oh man, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cast the cube guy, and then if this cast fails, I'm going to have to cast to the door, and then if that cast fails, and the answer is no, don't do that. If you find yourself nesting casts, I can guarantee you there's a better way. In the example that I just gave, that way would definitely be blueprint interfaces. I've created another video on blueprint interfaces, so there should be a card popping up right now for that if you're unfamiliar with them. But if you find yourself nesting casts, I definitely recommend you check that out, or just learn about blueprint interfaces in general, because they will save you so much trouble. But anyways, that's the end of this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. If you like this video, please consider slapping a like on it. And for more content from me, consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching.
Cool. Okay. Okay, so I think oh, but I want it to be a different material each time. Okay, so let's see. What would the best way to do that be? I can get rid of the sphere. That's above it. Get rid of that. And that should, so that's going to change. Yep, changes. Okay. But then I want it to go into a different box and then create a different material. But I would like to do that maybe without, oh, maybe make a material, bleh. I know how to use words, a material variable. Material. Material. Oh, but then how would I tell it which material to use? I make promote to variable, material 0. Okay, let's look at material 0. What are you doing here? Doesn't look any under advanced. It doesn't look any different than the other one that I'm using. It looks exactly the same. Let's hit save. Does that still work? Oh, I had to compile it. I had to compile it. I had to compile it. Okay. 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 And then can I make instance editable? There we go. Save. All right. Okay. So I can get rid of that. Let's delete that. Yep. Delete that. We're going to put that material here. All right. So let's just leave it blank for now. Does it change it? I'm curious though. Does it make it no material? Oh yeah, it does remove the material. Okay. 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 So I think now what I can do is all right. I think now I can safely bring this over here, bring that up. That's, oh, I guess, yeah, let's do it there. So it doesn't change while on the ground. Okay. Oh, how did I get the top view again? Oh, I don't want, I would like, I mean, I would like the top view, but also still seeing game view. No. Cat. Yep. Her name is Siren. She likes to hang out on this bed whenever she's uh, feeling a little more behaved. A lot of the time, she likes to just be right up in my face or nudging the microphone here. So I have to like keep the microphone up as much as I can, or she'll like move it around. Yeah. Hi. Glad you're stopping by. Over here figuring out some pretty basic functions of Unreal Engine right now. I guess I shouldn't say functions. Functions have a specific function in Unreal Engine. It's more of a new or it's yeah. You might know what I'm talking about if you're here, but yeah, functions are their own thing. But just I'm figuring out all the basic aspects. There we go, aspects of Unreal Engine. Happy to see new Unreal Engine developers. Well, good. I'm glad that I have people here to help watch as I figure stuff out. I was really having an issue a bit ago with just figuring out how the heck casting works, specifically the object right here, of like why the object uh, even needs to have something there to begin with. But I understand now because it can call in the actor. It needs the actual object that it's inheriting from, and then it can get more specific components from there on. Makes more sense now. But before I was confused. I was like, why can't I just do this? Like it already knows, that I'm casting to BP example. Why does it need any more than that? But it's because it needs to know what type of actor, and then it can get the components of it. Okay, so all I'm doing right now is I've got this ball here that made of cobblestone at the moment. And I'm just wanting to roll the ball through different trigger boxes and have it change materials as it as it goes through different trigger boxes. The other way to do it without casting would be interface. You'll learn those later. The video I was just looking at, this guy from Tyler Sereno, who did this video is really what made it click in my head. What the heck is going on with the casting order? And that's what he said as well. He was saying as you start to have more complicated uses of casting, you should use an interface. And at the end, he was basically saying like if you find yourself starting to like try to nest casts, then that's where you want to use interfaces. And he put his little card up here. So at a certain point, I'll look more into the interfaces. Um, but right now, yeah, I'm just trying to do a simple little self learning project of having the ball change materials as it goes through. And I think I'm at that point now. I made a material variable, set it to be instance editable, and I'm just going to make different instances of these little boxes. I guess they're not that little, but of these boxes. And then I will set the material it changes to in the interface. Oh, there we go. And let's just drag that over here. Okay, so this one, I'll change it to be, yeah, this will just be bush. I'll just make this like a random bush material. Make this into concrete, and this one into door. Sure. I guess it doesn't really matter what material, just any different material. Oh, this one to something that's very a chair. Why not? Sure, that should work fine. Uh, let's hit compile on that. Make sure that's good to go. Save that because I hit save probably a lot more than I should. Okay, now let's move the ball. Let's move. Let's move the ball. Come on, ball. Got to do. Let's get up here. Okay, cool. All right, we got the bush. And no, ball. Ball, you're going too fast. You're going too fast, ball. Okay. Hey, concrete. Okay. Okay. And now push the ball. Ball, you got to work with me here. Come on. It's nope. Okay. I'm gonna get you up there, ball. Don't you worry. Not going that way yet. We gotta go up here. All right. And that's not a material. Maybe I just deselected it by accident. Let's try this last one. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I think maybe I just didn't select that material. Cool. Already fun. I think so. Especially because at the beginning of this, it was feeling a little discouraging from not understanding why the casting wasn't working. But now that I've got it understood. It's much more motivating. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was following this Unreal University course, but as I got to the last section of the course, for some reason the website just would not play like half of the videos. So I didn't want to just go through like some of the videos and not the others. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try to take some of the basic stuff that I've learned so far and just make my own little goal for the project. Okay. Yeah, I didn't choose the material here. So let's choose. It was door, right? Door. Okay, yeah, door material. Cool. I'm sure that's going to work. I don't see why it wouldn't. The other ones already worked like that. Let's just give it a go here. Get you over to the door material. There you go. Look at you. You already look like a door. You're not a door, but if you want to be a door, you know, I'm not going to judge. You can be a door if you want. Cool. Man, that's really what I was trying to do. Oh, is this, you know, I bet it'd be pretty easy to um make it apply to, well no, I don't think this is actually, yeah, this isn't a blueprint at all. It's just its own little object. I appreciate you being encouraging though. Thank you. It does mean a lot to have some extra encouragement here. Um, okay, but yeah, now I think I could. Hmm. I guess it would just have to be anything that overlaps there. I don't even know if I can. Well, no, maybe I could still call, or maybe I still could set it to be affected by this. I'd probably casting to instead of casting to BP example, maybe I'd have to cast to like world, maybe, maybe not. Let's give this a funky name. Just call it cube. Ready. Sure, we'll figure this out. You know, I could probably just make I could probably just make a variable and uh, just name the variable cube buddy, and then I just cube buddy. No, okay, no, that's not gonna work. Uh, 'Cause I think it has to be an existing blueprint if I wanted to do that. Because I could just make p underscore example. Yeah, so I'll probably just have to make a different blueprint if that were the case, but it'd be exactly the same way as doing it here. There's really no difference. I'm not sure I'd really learn much else by just doing a different shape there. Okay. Um, let's see. What else could I do? Maybe oh, you know what? This might actually just be a good point to watch that interfaces video. Might not make sense, but I'll get some type of introduction to it.
How's it going, guys? In this video, I want to talk about a property of variables and functions that I feel like gets commonly overlooked, and that is copies versus references. Now, this will probably be a pretty short video because it's a pretty simple concept, but let's just jump right in. I'm in a blank first-person template, and I've created an actor that I've just named example actor. We'll open that up. All right, and in here, I'm going to create a variable. We'll just make it an integer, and we'll just call it age. Now, real quick, just for demonstrating, I'm going to type in F key.
Spawn more balls. Probably do that. Let's see. Let me see if I can apply my existing knowledge to spawn some more balls before I go in directly into the interfaces. Let's see here. Okay, on overlap. Actually, no, instead of set material, let's get rid of the set material for now. That's fine. Or you know what? Let's do this. I'll just disconnect it. Leave that down there on actor begin overlap. Not sure what it'd be called. Is it called spawn? Oh yeah, spawn actor from class. Okay. And class would just be BP example, I think, right? No, maybe not. Or is it actor? I think. No, BP example. Okay. I'll do that. Transform to spawn the actor with. Just, do I need that? Just spawn like right there? I would assume if I don't put the spawn transform in, it would just spawn at the same transform as the actor begin overlap, or I'm sorry, at the box collision. I guess I'll find out. Transform scale. Oh. You know what? We're just gonna send it. Just gonna send it here. Just gonna go. Oh, okay. So it does need some type of spawn transform. All right. Can I just get the current transform maybe of material changer? Because I don't think it's just going to let me. Yeah, no. So I'm going to need to get some type of transform. Let's see here. That's a self cast. That would feel silly to self cast. That's probably not. So no, that's not going to be it either. Like it's actor transform, target self. There we go. Boom. Easy. Okay. Compile, save. Self to get actor location will get the location of the overlap box. Perfect. All right, so I don't even think I need to have the sphere run through it. I think I can just run through it. Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. There was no limit. It was limitless. And I think it I think it came from a different probably the initial one, right? Yeah, because it's BP material changer. Yeah, so it's not it's yeah, let's delete those and let's go ahead and just move that in front of me. I have to put some kind of limit on that for sure. And I guess it is, yeah, it's taking the same transform as the material changer box. Because of that, it's applying this 9.0 scale, so that's why those boxes are so freaking big. Let's try this then. Transform scale method. Too many balls. Yeah, way too many balls. Override root component scale. Okay. Okay. So I think that this is what I want. If I want them to be normal sized balls instead of big balls. We don't want too many big balls. We like average sized balls around here. Um, okay, so let's just make a variable. I can just promote that to variable. Transform scale method. Oh no. No, I thought that'd maybe give me like a specified scale. And let's just see what that does. Why not? Oh, oh, oh no. Paul. Oh, you're getting me in trouble, Ball. You're gonna go over here for now. Let's just put you down there. Yeah, that was not what I wanted. So I'd probably have to just do some extra math here. Transform, maybe. Transform. Select transform? No. Maybe can break the transform and then make one. Oh yeah, true. Just drag and type make. Okay. Let's just see what that does. That's going to be at 0, 0. Oh, you know what? Actually, here, let's do this then. Let's get actor transform. Let's split. Okay, so actually, yeah, let's do that and that. So we'll want location and rotation, but I don't want the scale. So we'll have the scales be, there we go. Thanks for the help. So it should just be normal size balls going everywhere now. Oh wow, I wonder how long before this breaks my frames. Oh, it's already starting to, oh, it's going, oh god. Yeah, it's my computer's starting to sweat now. I've got too many balls everywhere. No. Oh, that's way more balls than I think anyone needs in their scene. So let's see. Perfect. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Spawn. Oh, we'll just do a do once. That's all I need. Cool. Hey, there's one ball. Look at that. Oh yeah, it only does once. It's not once per entry. It was very entertaining. I agree. Maybe like let's see. Output fires on the first time the node is hit, but can be reset. Okay. Let's reset. Oh, you know what? Okay. So we'll reset back into beginning there. That way I can probably just make a new ball. Oh, no, that's not what we're back to where we started. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Let's see. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see here. I think it's going to be difficult to control if those balls trigger more balls. Oh, you are right. You're right. You're completely right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the balls themselves are triggering more balls. Okay, okay, okay. So I'm just going to want me to trigger it. So in that case, let's do, because active over, I'm going to need to cast. Oh yeah, because this is in the material changer. So I want to cast to the first person or the VP first person character. Okay. All right, so let's drag all this over here. Let's, you know what, let's get this all out of the way. Give it some space. Guess cast. VP first person character. Okay. And do that. Um I don't think that's how that works. I don't think that's right. No, that's definitely not right. Oh, it is right. Hey, look at that. Cool. Oh, I didn't cycle it back around. That's right. Let's go make it look a little better. Okay. And there we go. Look at that. Ooh, the balancing balls are satisfying, actually. Oh, No way they just stacked on top of each other like that. It bounces up and just keeps stacking? Look at that. How high can this stack go? Oh, damn. Okay, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 balls. 8 balls is the limit for that stack. Unfortunate. All right. Nice. Look at that. That was another fun little exercise. Appreciate the idea. All right, from here, yeah, let's watch that video real quick. It's only 5 minutes. He seems to be confident that it's not that much additional info.
In here, I'm going to create a variable. We'll just make it an integer and we'll just call it age. Now, real quick, just for demonstrating, I'm going to type in F key.
Okay.
Now, a node that you may already be familiar with that I want to talk about is the increment node. So if I drag off of age and I type plus plus, you're going to see we get this macro that's called increment int. Now, I want you to notice that the input on this node is shaped like a diamond. The other thing here is, if I compile this, you're going to see that the default value is 0. So what I'm going to do to demonstrate this is copy and paste this variable and add a print string. And then each time we run this, we're going to print out this age variable. Note that we're not printing out from the increment node itself. We're printing out from the age variable. So we're starting out at 0. And then each time I press F, it's going to increment. So let's drag this into the world. And let's make sure that auto receive input is turned on. And when I press F each time, the value of the variable goes up. Now,
Makes
why
sense.
am I showing you this? Well, note here that we're setting this variable, but it's being passed into this macro as an input, which is different than how we normally do things in Unreal. Normally, you would expect that you'd have to set this variable and then plug this into here like this, which you could do, but you don't have to do. Now, the reason this is able to work is because of this diamond-shaped pin here, which means that this variable is being passed in as a reference rather than a copy. So typically with functions, when we pass variables in, the default method is to pass it in as a copy. So let's just create a function here. And what we'll do for demonstration is we'll make a function that increments the value of an integer by 2. So we'll call this inc by 2. And we're going to pass in an integer. And we'll just call it value. Now, here's the thing. We can come in here and we can go add and 2. But now, how do we set this incoming value? So the absolute worst way that you could do this is to drag in this age variable and do set and do something like this, because now we have a function that's heavily coupled to this age variable. Anytime we run this function, this age variable is going to get incremented by 2. But what if we want to plug something else into here? Well, you might be thinking we could just add a return node. And pass this value out. And if we drag out inc by 2, we could do something like get age, pass it in. And then set age. But this is an extra step that we don't need. So in order to do this, what we're going to have to do is use a node called set by ref. And this will allow us to set the incoming value. But here's the thing. As it currently stands, this is a copy. All right, so the variable itself is not actually getting passed into this function, just a copy of its value. If we want to change the variable itself, we have to pass a reference in. And to do that, we can select this input on the function. We can go to the input pin here and click the dropdown. And we can check this pass by reference value. And now you'll notice that this turns into that diamond shape. So what we can do is we can
Okay.
add to
I see.
here, we can plug it into the value, and we can plug this input into the set by ref node here. Now if I compile this and go to the event graph, and we can just delete all of this right here. If I run this and I print out age, you'll see that each time I run this, it increments by 2. And this is really useful for a variety of reasons. It's great for code cleanliness, as you can tell. And if you were to create a function library to create some utility functions that are general use, this is just a really good way to handle it. Also too, a less common use case, but one you might run into, is if you needed to call this function from outside of this class and pass in a value from a different class. And yeah, it's really as simple as that. I just wanted to show this because I feel like this doesn't get used as much, but it's a good piece of information to know. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, consider slapping a like on this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns,
That was not the right video. I was like, when's he going to get to the interface part? I just realized it's not the right video. Oh, that's silly. It's like, man, this is a lot of additional information for what I thought was going to be interfaces. Yeah, that's set pat. Okay, so that was his okay, yeah. So in the video, the previous one, he was like, "Yeah, there's a card right here. Go ahead and click this. It's going to teach you about interfaces." And that did not teach me about interfaces. That taught me about pass and set by reference. Okay, that's like an additional. Let's see here. Good information to have, but that wasn't the information that I thought I was going to be learning.
Blueprint interfaces are an essential concept in Unreal Engine that will make your life a whole lot easier. And in this video, we're going to look at when and how to use them. So I've taken the starter content and I've made a very basic interaction system that piggybacks off of Blueprint interfaces for the sake of demonstrating in this video. So here we have a door. If we walk up to it and we press F, it'll open, and we can also close it. We have a chair that we can take a seat in, again, by pressing F, and if I press F again, we'll get up. Then we have a switch that toggles a lamp, and a switch that can start and stop a moving platform. And finally, we can pick up the first-person gun by walking up to it and pressing F. So the first thing I want you to ask yourself is, what do these things have in common? Well, besides being interactable, they really don't have anything in common. And that's usually when you'll find that Blueprint interfaces are a good fit for doing something. They share one piece of functionality, which is that they can all be interacted with. But other than that, they're pretty vast and different. So enough talking, let's just jump in and demonstrate why that's important, why a Blueprint interface is great for this, and how to set them up. So real quick, we're going to take a look at the first person character. Now, what I have set up here is just a basic line trace. You don't have to worry too much about what's going on here. All that's happening is when I press F, a line's going to get drawn from the camera 500 units straight forward. So whatever direction I'm looking in, we'll draw a line, it'll hit something, and then it'll give us data about whatever it hit. Now, if you saw my video on casting, or if you know about casting in general, you'll know that in order to access any of the events, functions, or variables inside of a given object in the world, you'll need a direct reference. So in this case, if we were trying to make an interaction system via casting, we would have to take this hit actor and, for example, say cast to BP underscore door. And then assuming the door had a built-in interact event, we could then come off of here and go on interact. I didn't actually put a built-in interact event into the door, and you'll see why in a second. But the problem with this is we also have a chair, right? So the only way to really go about adding our chair to this interaction code is we'd have to come off of cast failed, and then we'd have to go cast to BP underscore chair,
which is what he said not to do.
Its interact function if it succeeded, and then now we added in a switch, so we have to come off of this and cast to BP underscore, or a button rather. And this is just bad. First of all, this is really badly unoptimized. Casts are actually expensive because they create what's known as a hard reference, meaning they're always loaded. And also, if you think about it, if you go up to the button, it has to first check all these other casts before it gets to the button. But besides those aren't even my biggest problems with this. The biggest problem is that anytime you want to add a new interactable object, you got to come into here, you got to go to your humongous nest of casts and you got to add in the new object. And that's just not modular. It's not scalable.
Got
It's
it.
not practical.
Nest
So
casts.
to get around
Got
doing
it.
this, we're going to use a Blueprint interface. So I'm just going to delete these and we're going to hop out of here for a minute and go into the content browser. I'm just going to go into the folder I made. And to create a Blueprint interface, what you do is you right click, go to Blueprints and Blueprint Interface. Now I'm going to name this BPI underscore interactable. And then we're going to double click to open this. Now, I feel like this is where people who are new to Blueprint interfaces get confused. This is just a read-only graph. It really doesn't serve any purpose other than to show you what your events and functions look like. You can't add anything in here, and that's actually kind of the point of Blueprint interfaces, as we'll see. All a Blueprint interface is a list of declared functions and events. We take our Blueprint interfaces, we put it on a class, and it will now have those events. Then we define the functionality for those events in the class for which this interface is on. If that's confusing, don't worry, we're going to do it right now. So we start off with this new function. I'm going to rename this onInteract. And you can see that we can add inputs and outputs just like we can with events and functions in any other class. Real quick, I'm going to add an input. I'm going to call it interacting player. And we're just going to make this a generic character object reference. That way we can get a reference to the interacting player in the blueprints that we're interacting with, and that's actually really useful, as we'll see in a minute. Now for demonstration purposes, I'm also going to create another function, and I'm going to call it isInteractable. And this time we're going to give it an output. It's going to be a Boolean, and we're going to name the Boolean interactable. So one thing real quick to note about interfaces is anytime you declare a function and it doesn't have an output, it's going to show up as an event, as you'll see in a minute. And anytime you do have an output, it's going to show up as a function, which should make sense because events don't have return nodes and functions do. But anyway, enough talking. Let's go see how to use this. So in my first person map, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my door BP. Now, I have the code already in here that allows the door to function as a door without the interacting aspect of it. We're not going to get too deep into this because this isn't a tutorial about doors. It's a tutorial about interfaces and interaction. This project file will be available for download at the link in the description. So if you want to dig into this stuff more, you can feel free to download it and check it out. Anyways, now we're going to add that interact interface to this door. And to do so, what you're going to do is you're going to click on class settings, and then you'll see interfaces over here, and you have this drop down to add. We'll go in here and we'll type in BPI underscore interactable.
Okay.
And if we compile, make
It just
sure
gives you
also
like
compile
access
your
to
interface,
the other
or
functions you
won't see any
made.
change. Now, if you look on the left-hand side in our My Blueprint panel, we have is interactable and on interact. Now, if I right-click on interact, I can implement this event. And you'll see we get this on interact event. And it's also outputting an interacting player, which I set up this door so that it'll always open away from the player. And in order to do that, we're going to need a reference to our player. So I'll just plug this in here. Now you might be thinking, why is this useful? Well, I'm going to show you the magic right now. In the first person character, you might be thinking, okay, great, I still have to cast to my door in order to access that interaction event. But actually, you don't. If you drag off this generic hit actor and you type in on interact, you'll get that interact interface call.
Okay.
And then for interacting player, we can pass in self. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Now you can just take that interface, put it on any item that's interactable, define its functionality inside of it, and you never have to touch any of this code. There's no need for nested casts, none of that. This is done. The only time you would have to edit this is if you wanted to add new features entirely to the interact system itself. So like if you wanted to have a prompt on screen that, says press F to interact with object, then you might need to add some stuff here, which would also involve adding new events and whatnot to your interface.
Sense.
But I'm getting a little off topic. The point
Not too difficult, right? The beauty about it is that you can add the interface to any actor, then you can make the functionality in those functions different for each actor type. So a door and a garage could use the same function interface, but have different functionality when called. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it obviously I see why they're necessary compared to having like all these nested casts.
Is this will work, and it will work for any object that we put the interface on. And you might be thinking, well, what if the hit actor that comes through here doesn't have an interface? And the answer is nothing. It just won't do anything. You can, if you need to check, you can go in and you can do does implement interface, which will, and you have to select this class drop down, go BPI underscore interactable. And now you have this Boolean where you can branch and you can check if a given object implements an interface. Put that right here if we want. It won't make any difference. It won't make any difference in this case, but there are times where you might just want to know in general if something has an interface, and this could be useful.
Okay.
Now remember, we also had that other interface function, the is interactable, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this for now, and I'm going to call that is interactable function. And you can see that we now have access to that output. So if I go here, I go branch, and this could be useful if, for example, you wanted to make something not interactable after you're done interacting with it. When you think about like maybe some of the doors in God of War, you can walk up to them, open them, and they stay open, and you don't have to interact with them again, something like that. And we'll plug that in there. So now if we go back to our door and we click on this is interactable function, you'll see we have this interactable variable right here. We'll set it to true, and if I compile, hit play, walk up to the door and press F, it works. And if we go to the other side of the door, like I said, it will open away from the player. Now, all of these objects follow the exact same principle. If we look at the rifle, for example, all I've done is taken the code that's included by default in the first-person template, and instead of using an onComponentBegin overlap with a sphere collision, I've just made it so that we use this onInteract event from the interface so that we can pick it up by pressing F. But now I want to focus our attention onto these buttons here, because these buttons are making use of two interfaces. So applied directly to them, we have the BPI underscore interactable interface, but we're also going to make use of a second interface so that we can control whatever we want with a button without having to change the button's code. So we're inside the button now, and as you can see, it has the interact interface, and I've deconstructed the rest of the functionality so that we could put it back together right now. But basically, this button might control anything. So as I showed before, one of these buttons controls a lamp, and then the other one controls a moving platform, which are two very distinct things. So what I did was I exposed a generic actor to the details panel. That way we could just drag a button into the world and select any given actor. So in this case, we'll select the light. And now we need to make it turn the light on and off. Now, yes, of course, like always, if I wanted to, I could cast to the lamp, but the problem is then it's not going to work for the platform. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another interface.
My first question was when he started talking about having multiple interfaces was why not just add it to first interface? But obviously you don't, if you have a button that's controlling the light, you have no need for this one to also be able to control the light. You need it separate. So an interface for each item that's, or each object that has its own functionality on it. That makes sense.
I'm going to go here, Blueprint Interfaces, and we're going to call this BPI underscore electricity. And for the sake of this video, all I'm going to do is add one event, and we're going to call it on activate. Okay, and we'll compile. And now this interface will go on any object that we want a button to control. So we'll go into the lamp. And all I have here is the lamp static mesh from the starter content.
True. Understanding is half the battle.
And I
think I do want to poke around this project he's talking about that he has for download.
In order to run this code, what we're going to do is go to class settings. We're going to add that BPI underscore electricity interface. And then you'll see we have that event on activate. We'll implement it. Plug it in like so. And then back in the button, we will run that on activate event from the electricity interface. And that's it. Now we can drag a button into the world. We can select any object that we wanted to control. Just slap that electricity interface onto that object. We don't have to change any code in the button, and it will work. And also, real quick, I forgot we have to check this is interactable checkbox. But now if I compile, hit play, walk up to this button, you'll see that it toggles the light. And it's the exact same thing for the platform. If I go into the
That's how I learned
platform,
from other
add
people's
that
projects.
DPI underscore
Yeah, that
electricity interface,
seems to be the most efficient way.
implement that event. You can see I have all the code here already to make the platform start and stop. Again, not important for this tutorial. We're just going to plug this event activate right here. And then if I take this button, I already have the platform selected. I hit play. And it makes the platform move. Now to drive all of this home, I'm just going to create a brand new interactable object from scratch. It's going to be really simple. It's just going to print out a name when we walk up to it and press F. So in my blueprints folder, I'm going to create a new blueprint class. We're going to make it an actor, and I'm going to call it BP underscore cube guy. All right, we're going to open that up. And real quick, just for aesthetics, I'm going to add some components.
This was the cube guy
Okay,
in his
and
other
we're gonna give
video.
it a string variable called name, or actually we'll call it first name. And we'll expose it to the details panel so we can set it in the world. And then what we want to do is we want to print out this name when we walk up and press F. So I'm going to go to class settings, add BPI underscore interactable. We're going to go into the function and make it interactable. And then we're just going to implement the onInteract event. We're going to take first name. And we're going to print string. All right, we'll drag this in. I'm going to make its first name Brian. And now when I hit play, walk up to the cube guy, press F, you'll see it prints out Brian.
That is Brian.
And it was that simple to add a brand new interactable object. All right, and that's all there is to this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please slap a like on it and consider subscribing for future videos from me. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comments down below and I'll do my best to get back to you. And yeah, I wish you all the best of luck with your...
Okay, so link to project. Download zip. A link to the video. Let's see. Not sure how I would share that link here. Can I type in my own chat? Let me go to the Twitch. Oh yeah, I can. Look at that. Okay. There you go. Good call. Definitely should like that. Forget to do that sometimes. All right. Extract. Yep. Okay. Maybe I can just put this like documents, I guess. Okay. Save and close everything here. And open up interfaces tutorial 5.6. So is that going to work? Yeah, just works. Cool. Sometimes they tried to open older projects. They do not like opening in newer versions of the engine. That's good. Okay. You're still on UE4? Yeah, I would imagine most people, if they have like long standing projects, they're just going to be using whatever version of the engine that they set it up with originally. It's just hit play. Yeah, these oh, right, yeah, so it is still just exactly how he had it. And it's there's Brian. Okay. Yeah, all of my plugins work. There's a lot that goes into multiplayer. Oh, you work with multiplayer projects. That sounds very complicated. Sounds fun though. Multiplayer is, I'd imagine, a whole nother level of complications. Open them. Sure. Oh, okay. These are what he had open. Okay. Let's look at the interfaces. Interactable. Okay. I could have swore it's a different. Hmm. Take a look at the other blueprints. Let's look at Brian. Just search for. No, that's not going to work. Here it is. Okay. Electricity. Oh, oh, this is the same as this. It just doesn't show me the graph. Okay. Okay, so that's BP door, chair. Okay. Amazon Web Services login system, database, dedicated server, and hosting on Linux virtual private server. It's insane. That sounds like a lot of things that I don't understand. I knew some of those words, but a lot of those in combination with each other, no idea. Good on you though. That's awesome that you have so much like um, investment and dedication into all these systems. Do you have a game that you work on? Um, is there like a project that you've been building or maintaining or helping someone with? That sounds like you are very deep into whatever project involves that those systems there. It's all just used interactable and on interact. Okay. Player there. Hmm. I think it's just all still the same there. Yep, I'm working on my first MMORPG with the game Ragnarok Online as its inspiration. Damn. Well, good on you, man. Or woman. Or they. I don't want to. Sorry, I just randomly gendered you, but that sounds like a really big project. I wish you all the best. I cannot even imagine trying to do something like that on my own. That sounds incredible. You have like anywhere I can follow that project or like get updates on it or anything of that regard? Because that sounds like something that'd be interesting to keep an eye on, unless it's like like something you're just doing as a learning thing, which I'd still like to keep an eye on that if you do any type updates or whatever to your progress. That sounds neat. This account is my streaming account. Okay, I'll go. Let's see here. I'll go give you follow. There you go. Give you a follow, and I'll check out your stuff there later too. Of course. What inspired you to go for something like an MMORPG? Was there like other projects that you've done before um that served as like building blocks to that, or have you just like done all of your learning and progress towards ultimately making an MMORPG? Love to know. Okay, there's the on interact that I was looking for. Played Ragnarok online for 10 years. Their company did not manage the game right, so I told them I would remake their game. I've been on a mission ever since. Well, that's a pretty admirable mission. That's just I cannot imagine the level of work that goes into that. And it seems like you've really put in a lot of effort to get to that point. That's awesome. I've had some random like game ideas here and there. Obviously, that's why I'm even learning any of this, but nothing that I thought I should even attempt to make a project for until I learn a lot of the basics of what Unreal entails. Would have been nice to have a mentor. Yeah, I would imagine it's hard to get. It's hard to like parse together mentorship from a bunch of different videos that are online. That's why I like anyone that stops into the chat and gives me advice on anything that I'm doing. I always appreciate it. There's you, and there's one other guy that stops in here sometimes that has been pretty helpful too. And I'm more than grateful for any advice that people give me while I'm going through like learning and projects and such. It's always been really hard to try to parse together that information myself. Sometimes I stumble across some good videos and they are very helpful, like the one from earlier. That guy was pretty clear and concise about the information he was conveying. But sometimes you'll stumble into like threads, especially like old threads. Uh, Very old threads I've found. Sometimes I'll like search up an issue I'm having, and it's a thread from like 9 years ago. So it's hard to know like if that's still accurate or not. So people coming in real time and giving help is very appreciated. Do you have you just kind of stream whenever, or do you have like a schedule you stream on? I personally I make sure to stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That's when I started today was 5 p.m. Pacific time. Been about 2.5 hours here. And usually this is about the amount of time that I stream for is for about 2.5, maybe about 3-ish hours or so. When I first started, it was only I barely even got to like an hour and a half of streaming on each session, but I'm only on like my it's like my sixth stream, I think, at this point. Dog's just really itching. Good, bud? You good. Gotta go. Walk. Stream whenever. Cool. Well, yeah, I gave you a follow, so whenever you pop into do a stream, I'll make sure to open it up if I'm available at that moment, which usually I am. Even when I'm at work, usually I still have the opportunity to open up a video or a stream or something. So I'll definitely stop by whenever I can. I think as of tonight, though, I think I am going to be ending the stream now. My dog is really itching to go for a walk, and it's about the time that I got to start cooking some dinner. So appreciate you stopping by. If you want to stop by next week, I will be here at least every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Sometimes I'll do like random streams in between there, but usually for the most part, it's the same time on Tuesday. I've done like one or two game streams before in the past. So I've started Subnautica as well, just on like a random off day because I've never finished Subnautica. I've got terrible thalassophobia. So I thought maybe if I did it on a stream, it would motivate me to get through it. Played, I think, like 2.5 hours of it on a different stream. So at some point, I might hop in an unscheduled gaming stream, but usually I'm just here learning. But yeah, I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much and for all the help. And hopefully see you again in the future. Have a good night.